Welcome, dear friends. The sun is shining just for a second, I guess, because it's very clouded, but it is shining right now on the desk. Welcome. Today I'm going to do a little watercolor project. From this, I take a drawing from this beautiful coloring book by, can you see it, Sara Muzio. In Dutch, they call it Flower Happiness, but the original title of this book is called Wonderful Gardens. And I took this one. I put it on a light pad and I traced it onto a watercolor paper. This is 100% cotton cold pressed watercolor paper. And I will put the brand in the description of this video. And I'm going to do some splashing, some happy splashing with a watercolor brand that has been waiting for me for over a year. And it's this box. It's been long overdue. Rembrandt Professional Watercolor from the Netherlands. So it was a gift from my husband last year during the Sinterklaasfeest. And well, I have been using it here and there, but not thoroughly testing and enjoying it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I have to say, though, I bought some extra colors and I have no idea where I put them, but they are here on the palette already. But there's a little problem because I have no idea what their names are. So I will figure that out for a following video. But for now, let's just have some fun. So this was a quick sketch and I can see that I lost a couple of lines here and there, and I have the coloring book here on the desk as a reference. When I looked at this page first, I was wondering what type of plant is this, and but then I saw these little flowers. And then I recognized them immediately because these are the flowers of a tomato, depending on where you live in the world and which type, this is not right, it's like this, and which type of English you speak. But in school we learned tomato, the English version. And I recognize these plants from my youth because my grandparents and my father were growing them professionally. My grandparents were farmers, they had greenhouses and they grew tomatoes, cucumbers, stuff like that in the greenhouses. And later on, my father, he continued the farm. We didn't live on the farm. There was this little farmhouse, but my grandparents lived there, so we lived in town. Yeah, we lived in town, just a couple of miles away from the farm. That was no problem. And there were times that we, the children, were asked to help out because on a farm there are certain times of the year that are quite busy. And one of these times, of course, is summertime. Harvest. Stuff needs to get harvested. And we helped out with taking out the tomatoes, cucumbers, and outdoors they had on the field all sorts of crops, endive, cauliflower. It's a long time ago. So yeah, I have good memories about those times. So yeah, I know what a tomato plant looks like. It looks like this. Although I want to do some joyful splashing with color, there are some steps that I have to take first to prepare the drawing and make sure it won't be too messy. This is Kneaded Eraser by Faber Castell, and I'm going to use that one to take off the excessive amount of graphite pencil, because graphite pencil can smudge your painting. So as you can see, I am not doing this, but just pushing it on top of the drawing and then just lifting the excessive amount of graphite. Yeah, this can be a little bit boring to do, but I urge you to do it. It makes the end result much better. Here I have a Derwent spray bottle. It's quite a powerful spray that comes from it, so the paper is going to be quite wet. So I was thinking, should I tape my paper down or not? But I decided not to do that, and instead I will iron it afterwards. So this is going to buckle, and that's okay because I'm going to iron it afterwards. So let's do some spraying. And let's see what this is going to do. Here I have all these lovely colors. So now I have to think. I love blue skies and blue backgrounds, and I think I'm going to do that. Just enjoy blue backgrounds. Yeah. But I want to turn this into something organic, so I'm going to splash several colors around. What's this? This seems like a gorgeous, powerful blue. And as you can see, there's not enough water because I want it to really start to flow, and it doesn't flow. There could be another reason for not flowing, and that is that the paint is not a flowing type of paint. That could also be the reason. I think this is some sort of a Prussian blue like blue, but I'm not sure because I don't have the names here. This paint definitely needs a lot of water to move around, and this is actually not what I expected. it's not a bad thing, but it is something that this is why you need to practice with and explore new type of paints before you start your masterpiece, because a lot of things can be different if you use different type of paint or pencil or whatever. So very interesting. This paint brand is being used by the famous Dutch painter, watercolor painter Marjolein Bastin. She's famous for her nature paintings. She made a lot of paintings that were used in Hallmark cards. She made a very good living of it. Cleaning the brush. By the way, this is a Pentel brush. I've had it for many years now. And it still has this beautiful tip. It's the best that I have, to be honest, Pentel. So far no other brand has topped it, so best water brush if you ask me. Okay, let's go for a different color. How about a touch of red? These paints are famous for their brightness and their strong colors, so I'd like to see how that is going to work out. I'll put just a bit of this light red here and there on the tomatoes. It's a lovely color. I think in this video I will do the first layer, because if I want to start a second layer I really have to make sure this first layer is dry. Let's see, there's a little bit of tomato visible here as well. There's one here. And now I'm looking at the original drawing in the coloring book, because it's way easier to see the details where I can find the tomatoes. Here is one also. There's one somewhere over here. Let's see, it should be here. Yeah, there's one here. Let's clean the brush. Now tomato flowers are yellow, so I'm starting out with the lightest yellow that I have, and I think it's this one, some sort of a lemon yellow. Let's just put it in. It's a wonderful color, because I can from this color I can go to green, to darker yellow, to orange, to red. But I won't, because these flowers are yellow. So I will stay in the yellow zone with a touch of green, I think. Now I could look for some pictures of these flowers, and I'm going to do that, but I am not going to make a very realistic painting. I want it to look splashy and free and joyful, and I'm not looking for a botanically correct painting. So I'm looking at the reference photo again. This is good here. We have a couple of them here. It is autumn in the Netherlands. The weather is very, very quiet right now. There's hardly any wind, which I love. But that means that the clouds aren't moving. So it's very quiet outside, but we just happen to have a lot of gray in the sky. But just right now I see a couple of openings in the clouds with a little bit of sunshine here and there, which I very much appreciate. Okay, now look at that. That's amazing. Okay, let's add some green. What's this? Let's take a look here. What is this? Is this green? No. With watercolors, when the paint is is not diluted, it is very, I'm looking for the English word. In Dutch we would say geconcentreerd. That would mean there's a lot of it. Then it's difficult to see the color because it becomes so very dark. Now this is an interesting color, look. But I'm not sure if I want that one as a first layer, because it's some sort of a earthy green tone. I'm not sure. I could give it a try. Let's mix one. This is yellow ochre. Let's put some of that strong blue that I had here earlier, and let's see what happens. This looks like some sort of an army green, but if I dilute it, this might actually work. So let's give it a try. It's quite bluish, so maybe I should use this one as a shadow tone. Let's just see what happens. Drawings like these from coloring books are also great to color with watercolor pencils. And if you don't want to ruin your coloring book, then it's great to transfer the drawing first onto watercolor paper. And if you are using watercolor pencils, I can highly recommend a hot pressed paper. So that's different from what I'm using right now. I'm using a cold pressed paper. But I had very bad results using watercolor pencils or Inktense pencils on cold press paper. It was a mess. And then I decided to try it on hot press paper. So it's a very smooth watercolor paper, and that was so much better. So I can highly recommend doing that, the hot press paper. You don't necessarily need a light pad to transfer your drawings onto watercolor paper. You can also tape the original on the window and then use the light from outdoors shining through. You couldn't see what I was doing, but you can use the light from outdoors shining through the original drawing, and then you can put a sheet of watercolor paper on top of it, and it will shine through even through the thicker watercolor paper. So we've been painting for over 20 minutes yet already, so you can see you can have a lot of fun with just doing this. I've tried restarting the Passion for Pencils channel earlier this year, but that didn't work out so well. But I'm going to try again. Just do it again. I'm just doing it again. This time with less pressure. I'm just going to upload a video whenever I have one available. I would love to do it every week, but I'm not going to promise that anymore. I am going to work on the blog, actually. I have a plan of updating it because I haven't done much about that. So there's some here that needs color. So far I can completely understand that professional painters like this paint. So I'm very interested in exploring more. How do they behave when layering? But this is really nice. It's very joyful. There's the sun again. Oh, welcome. Sunshine is so welcome. I find this a little bit too strong. Let's see how we can mute it, tone it down. Look, that goes pretty well. Just adding a touch of water and then take the excessive amount off the paper. This is good. Now these types of colors, these light reds, can be staining. It means that you cannot move it around, and that is actually happening here also, but I can still take off some of that paint. That's better. Now I'd like to add another color. Let's go for this one. I believe this is magenta. No, I'm not going for this one. Let's go for this one, and this one is called Permanent Road Violet. And this is a strange color. Look. And I think when I mix it with this one, vermilion this is, I get what I need right now. That is a darker red. And let's try it here. So this is already a second layer. Then I will clean my brush and then I will put some extra water by squeezing so I can move this around. Look at that. That is nice. Now I am painting on top of a tilted surface, so I'll have to put the painting upside down right now. And I can tell you that road violet, let's see, permanent road violet, permanent red violet is very interesting color. Very interesting. I've never seen it in a pencil or in a paint set, but this is really interesting. It makes me want to paint a fly agaric. There are many fly agarics in the woods right now. You know, those red toadstools with the white dots. They're so beautiful. Look at that, that's absolutely amazing. And this gives me an idea of how I want to proceed with this painting, because I want to keep it very loose, but let some things stand out by adding a little bit more detail or straight lines or something like that. So I will continue this. I really like it. I can't stop. I have to stop right now. There are other things that I have to do, but I don't want to. Let's continue a couple of minutes more. Let's add some water here. And let's add another layer of that beautiful red violet mixed with vermilion. Absolutely amazing. I need more vermilion. So I have it upside down now. Now, if you want to make straight lines, you of course need to take into account that your paper must be dry, or at least dry enough to let that happen. Because if it's all wet, then this will just, the red paint will go everywhere. If you're not sure about those things, plan on making your painting twice. Make a study first. A study, all the great paint masters made studies. Just make all the mistakes you can make in your study, learn from it, and then paint it again. Look at that. Amazing. Let's put some extra vermilion here. Absolutely great paint. This is making me very enthusiastic about it. In our living room we have a wall that is very big, very white and very empty. So for a long time I've been contemplating what to do with that wall, and I want to make a piece of art. But I had no idea what. But this paint is great for making larger paintings, I guess. So maybe this paint can play a role in creating something nice for that wall. It's just wonderful. Okay, I will leave it here. Let's take a step back. This is just great for a first layer and a little bit of experimenting with a second one. This is going to be very nice. I'll be back with this painting for sure. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will put a list in the description of the video of all the art materials that I am using. And well, I wish you happy coloring, happy painting, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.